Volkswagen's Golf GTI is the father of modern hot hatches. It's a quick, classy and easy to live with car that represents a default choice for people looking for a performance car that they can drive every day, which is why it's one of the most popular hot hatches on sale.
Well Dave, not everyone wants to go with the crowd, and Peugeot have plenty of hot hatch history, and the new 308 GTI promises to be even better than your Volkswagen. Plus, it looks sharp.
See, I like the styling of the Golf. I think it's understated but classy, and a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Well, that's because it's a car for sheep. Let me show you why you should avoid the herd. Okay Dave, let me talk you out of that regular hot hatch and into something a little bit more stylish. The Peugeot 308 GTI is the fastest car Peugeot has sold in Australia. It's an extreme machine with 200 kilowatts of power from a turbocharged 1.6 litre engine, and it has some of the biggest brakes you'll find on a hot hatch. Based on the exquisite Peugeot 308, this GTI offers a touch of flair that Golf just can't match. I don't want to boast. Alright, I'll boast a little bit. This thing is quicker than your Volkswagen.
It's certainly got a bit of nip, doesn't it? It's only a 1.6, but it really goes along nicely.
0 to 100 in 6 seconds. I believe it's about half a second quicker than your Volkswagen.
It is a little bit faster, but it's not all about 0 to 100 times and how fast a car can go in a straight line. These hot hatches are all about having fun.
Okay Dave, you're definitely going to have fun with this thing in the corners. With the Michelin Pilot Super Sport tyres, this thing can grip like there's no tomorrow.
It is pretty good, but honestly, it's not super comfortable in here. We're really getting bounced around a bit, and so many performance cars these days have different driving modes that affect the suspension and things like that. And this one, it's just the one tune that does bounce you around a little bit.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but you do get a lot of support from these nice bucket seats. I feel a bit more snug than you do in the Golf.
I think it's interesting too that Peugeot only offer this car with a manual transmission. In 2016, that's a pretty rare thing for
No. Hot hatch, you need a manual. That's where all the fun is, Dave. I don't want flappy paddles. I want to be controlling it down here. I want to do the 2-foot shuffle.
What I do like about this car is the differential. You've got a proper limited slip diff in this car, which to me, a front drive car absolutely must have.
Oh, you can definitely feel it in the corners. This thing is pretty epic.
It's a bit of torque steer though, isn't there?
Yeah,
but a little bit of tug through the steering wheel.
I kind of like it.
The Peugeot for me is the more raw experience. You've got to change gears yourself. You get bounced around a little bit by the suspension, and it's you know, the steering and whatnot is a little bit less refined than the Golf, but it is a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and did I mention it was faster? One thing that I like a lot more than a Volkswagen is this awesome interior. You know, it's pretty simple in the center fascia here, but you know, it's stylish as well.
It is a fascinating interior. You've got your speedo and your tacho well above the steering wheel there. Tiny little steering wheel, by the way, which makes it feel like a bit of a go-kart, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's good fun. And to be honest, with my driving position, I have to kind of lean over to seat the tacho, but you know, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like the driving position on this thing was set up for one person, and Pierre, you're going to be very comfortable in this car.
Oh, Pierre had so much fun making this car.
It is a little bit of a weird car, this really. A bit quirky.
You say quirky, I say cool. It's not just a regular everyday car.
Yeah, I will give it to you that this is an everyday, more mainstream car. But there's a reason why this car is very popular. It's because it's very good. The GTI has been the standout performer in the hot hatch class for the last 10 years, taking the best parts of the Golf and adding enthusiast appeal with more power and better handling. This performance model takes it to another level, with an extra 7 kilowatts of power and a handful of other upgrades that make it even faster in the real world. The Golf GTI really is the all-rounder of the pair. It's a well-rounded thing that balances the role of being an everyday car with being a performance car. And if you're honest with yourself, it probably is the one that you'd rather live with every day.
Yeah, but when you think hot hatch, do you think a regular everyday car?
I do. A hot hatch is a car that is comfortable every day, but then can really press on when you need it to.
Well, personally, I want to be turned up to 11 all the time. So, show me what this thing's got.
Well, look, it's pretty good. Right now we're in comfort mode, which is much more comfortable than the Peugeot. We're in a bumpy stretch of road here.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, look, you can just cruise along here in comfort mode and it's all fine. But then you can stick it in sport and it gets interesting. One of the things I do love about this car is the DSG transmission. Now the Golf is only available with an automatic transmission, the dual clutch automatic DSG, and it is much, much faster than a manual. This thing changes gears far quicker than any human could hope to.
But does it give you the feedback that you enjoy with pushing a stick around?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I do love driving a manual, and I love to heel and toe and all that sort of stuff, but you know, you just drive it in a different way. It's a, you know, do you ask Lewis Hamilton if he misses having a manual transmission in a Formula 1 car? No.
Do you say he's as good as Ayrton Senna though?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I think Lewis would probably actually like to have a manual in a Formula 1 car. I think that'd be hilarious. But there's a lot of technology to this car. Like the Peugeot, it has a clever limited slip differential, but unlike the Peugeot, this one is computer controlled. Essentially, it syncs in with the car system, with the steering and the suspension and the brakes and everything else, to basically make sure that the power is going exactly where it needs to be. If you factor the gearbox and the differential in with a clever adjustable suspension, you've got a really smart package, and it can handle whatever you throw at it.
Well, Dave, I've got a clever system in my car, and it's a key to turn on the sports mode. Granted,
the Peugeot is always sporty, and it is a car that does feel a little bit more special. What do you think of the Volkswagen's interior? It certainly isn't as, it's not as fancy perhaps as the Peugeot, but it's still a very functional and well executed place to be.
Well, I think my Scottish heritage might have some fun with the tartan in here. It's a bit of a personal choice, but I'm not sure if I'd go there.
I like the tartan, but you know, with Scottish heritage too, the McCowen clan, I think the tartan is quite a cool thing to have. And of course, if you don't like it, you can always option up some leather trim instead. And that is an interesting point for this car, because it is $3.5 grand cheaper than the Peugeot, and you do get all that technology that's missing from the French car. It's very easy to justify the Golf. It's a car that you choose with your head.
But the Peugeot is a car you choose with your heart, and really gives you that extra appeal that this thing kind of doesn't give you. It doesn't give you that raw feel that you want from a small performance hot hatch. And that's why I'm going to take the Peugeot, Dave.
I think I'd take the sensible choice and take the Golf. I have to deal with some awful traffic in my commute, and I love that this is a car that'll cop all of that and then really turn it on when you need to.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other?
Let's agree to disagree.